I'm going to do my best to recap this year's Ring of Honor's Final Battle. Opening match, 4-corner survival. Mark Briscoe and Hanson defeated Mark Briscoe, Caprice, Coleman, and Jimmy Jacobs in a pretty good 4-corner survival match that went about 10 minutes. Briscoe and Coleman start out, but then Jacobs tags himself in. Hanson then comes in at Jacobs' request. Here's a drop kicks. Hanson gets a side slam on Coleman. He gets 2. Mark comes in, back in for a bunch of chops. Now, by this point, I had to order the HD version of the show because the standard definition, for some reason, wouldn't produce any audio on my television set. Coleman doing that running 619 thing through the post that he normally does. The ending was okay at best. I mean, Coleman, after hitting an offside moonsault on the other 3 guys, rolls Hanson back in the ring, goes for the sky splitter. Hanson dodges it. Coleman turns around, gets nailed with a spin kick of doom for the win. 3.25 stars. Most people are giving this one 2.5. I'm giving it 3.25 at best. Next up, Paige against Roderick Strong. Strong comes out with a bunch of chops. Once he gets outside, Paige starts to take over. Somersault, clothesline over the barricade. BJ throws Whitmer out of the things. Whitmer tries to stick his nose in. Ending, it shows that Adam Page is really going to work his way through the ranks as a very tough but pretty decent top-ranked mid-card heel. It ends with Strong hitting the suplex backbreaker going into this and trapping Page in the stronghold. Page doesn't tap. He more or less passes out. About 15 to 12 minutes or so. 3.5 stars. Could have been given a little more time, in my opinion. Next up was Elgin against Champa. This one was not as good as their Best in the World match from last year. No, I don't think it was even as good as their Death Before Dishonor match. But what brings up controversy is the ending. After only getting 2 on Project Champa, Champa comes out of the corner looking to clothesline Elgin, but he inadvertently knocks down Gino Colucci. Nigel McGuinness stands up because of the no tolerance policy. Ian heads to the back. Ciampa is distraught by what he has just done. This allows Elgin to get in the nail with a double underhook elevated double underhook DDT for the win. 3.25 again, but not the way I would have ended this match. With Elgin winning. Next, ACH and the Young Bucks defeat Cedric Alexander and the Addiction in one hell of a match. You had some great chemistry between ACH and Alexander. ACH actually coming out in a Bullet Club shirt. Which I found kind of funny. And I actually have to applaud Nick and Matt Jackson for actually putting their arrogance aside for one night to team with ACH. I guess in some way ACH earned their respect when he and Matt Sydal beat them in the Tag Wars tournament. That said, I mean, it was a super kick party, including a triple super kick by ACH in the Bucks. So it ends with a double. Cedric goes for a Hurricanrana. He gets blocked. He gets hit with a double super kick. The Meltzer driver and a 450, all in that order for the win in about 14 minutes or so. 4.5 stars. Go out of your way for this one. Next is probably the shit match, the match of the shit. Match that was shit throughout the night. Moose defeating Artie Evans in a match that I didn't really care about, honestly. I pretty much knew it wasn't going to be that good. Sure enough, there was a screwy finish to it. I mean, Evans tried to show some comedy. But, I mean, there were 2 sick bumps he took. I mean, the first one was when he got F5'd more or less into the post, and he hit it with his hip instead. When Moose F5'd him into the post, and he hit him and he hit his hip on it, and that has got to sting. That's gonna leave a sting. Then there's a point where RD gets the sharpshooter on. Nana and Stokely get ejected. Veda comes out and, more or less, stabs RD in the back with a low blow, allowing him to get speared by Moose for the win. And to quote Prince Nana, "Karma, my friends, is a bitch." Oy vey. 1 3/4 stars in this one, and that's just me being nice. Sydal and Jay Lethal defeated Matt Sydal in a pretty good match, but the thing that kills it for most of the critics, I'm pretty sure, is the fans at Terminal 5. New York City independent wrestling circuit fans, they can be quite dickish at times. They didn't really buy Sydal as a babyface challenger for some reason. Lethal kept it pretty slow going at one point. Diesel and Martini getting involved whenever they could. Sydal hit the shooting star, but only got 2 because Martini pulled Sinclair out of the ring. Diesel will try to have Lethal hit Sydal with the Book of Truth. Sydal goes for the shooting star on Martini. He gets caught in a similar fashion to how Randy Orton caught him in midair with the RKO. That leads into the lethal injection. For the win, I gave it 3 1/4, though most people are giving it 2 1/8. This one, also 2 1/2. Most people are giving the 6-man a 3 1/2, which I totally disagree with. Tag title match. Red Dragon defeated the Time Splitters. There's an 18-minute match that felt more like a 25-minute match in some spots. Some great combination moves by the Splitters and Red Dragon. Doomsday drop kicks. This is awesome chance breakout. Slice bread number 2. Chasing the Dragon. An attempt stop. Then when Kushida finally gets nailed with Chasing the Dragon, only gets 2, which converts to the leg trap cross arm breaker by O'Reilly. You know, where he puts in the cross arm breaker and then he grabs the leg to put further torque on the limbs. Gets the tap out win. Red Dragon retains the ROH tag titles. Another 4 1/2 star match for what it was. And I think Red Dragon is starting to get over. You don't have to like their tactics and methods, but you gotta respect their skill in the ring. Up next for them, Wrestle Kingdom 9, where they have to defend the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Belts. Finally, Jay Briscoe defeated Adam Cole in 21 minutes to retain the world title in a fight without honor. That was gruesome and brutal, yes, but not as gruesome and brutal as, say, Steen Generico at Final Battle 2010. I mean, Jay starts off by hitting a J drill. Hits a J drill right out of the gate. Only gets 2. Double stomps Cole through the timekeeper's table. Well, chair shot from Cole. And Then Cole gets a staple gun that Jay had brought with him to the ring and pulls the 2 chairs he had reserved for Papa Mike and Mama Briscoe. Smacks Jay in the head with it, and then puts the reserve for Papa Briscoe on it, and staples it to Jay's head, and you hear "you sick fuck" chants, and it takes a little bit for Jay to pull the staples out of his head, and he starts to pop blood out. Jay goes out under the ring to pull another table. Puts it in. Falcon Arrow through 2 chairs by Jay. That only gets 2. Cole goes for the ring post figure 4. But he takes too long to set up. Gets slammed. This was after he took a kendo stick that Jay brought in, and it was using it on the legs. Anyway, Cole gets split open. Briscoe pulls out yet another table. Super kick by Cole sends Briscoe off the top through that table. Floor the key after the super kick to the back of the... And later, Cole nails a super kick and a floor the key combo to the back of the head. That only gets 2. Briscoe fights back. A Death Valley driver to a table set up in the corner. That only gets 2. So Jay brings out a bag of thumbtacks and push pins. Cole, in one of the more sick displays in the match, actually knocks Jay Briscoe out with, I don't know what. I mean, he brought the world title in a couple of occasions. Puts a few of the pins and tacks in Jay's mouth. Super kicks him in the mouth, causing the tacks to puncture his lips. Another "you sick fuck" chant breaks out. Cole and Jay are trying to super kick each other into the tacks. Cole goes for the Corona Destroyer, that springboard Canadian Destroyer off the top. That gets counted into the DVD to the corner table, I forgot. Then he backdrops Cole through the tape, onto the tacks, nails him with the J Driller. That only gets 2. And then Jay sees the world title on the canvas of the ring. He puts it in front of Cole, who's struggling to get up. And Cole looks up at Jay, and then Jay tells him, "It's over. Prepare to die, you little bitch." And nails Cole with a third J Driller, this time on the belt, that knocks Cole out for good. Briscoe retains. This feud is finally over. 4-star match. Overall, I gotta admit, while not as good as All-Star, between the 3 pay-per-views, and between the 5 pay-per-view events that ROH put on this year, I'd have to openly admit that Final Battle was probably the weakest of the 5. The weakest of all of them. Out of all of them. So by going by my personal enjoyments of the match, star ranking, and overall storytelling, psychology, and chemistry between the men involved, I have meticulously calculated my final score for this event and rate it and give it an overall of 7 out of 10. An overall rating of 7 out of 10. So where do we go from here? Next stop is Nashville. For the TV tapings and the Top Prospect Tournament. Then, January 24th, Wrestling's Finest in Philadelphia. From there, we go to Atlanta on February 20th. The Winter Warriors tour continues through Milwaukee, Chicago Ridge, Atlanta, and Coleman. And that road trip stops when we get to Sin City and Sunday, March 1st, for ROH's 13th anniversary show, which will also be held on pay-per-view. I'm out. Peace.